Hello and welcome back to another unboxing video. Today's video is about the Commodore Amiga A600. That was actually my first ever experience with the Commodore Amiga series of computers, and I got my first machine back in 1993. I'd heard about it through somebody at work. They made some music with one of the computers, and I thought it was just fantastic. And at the time I was listening to a couple of groups called The Orb and another one called the Bassmatics, which was electronica type music. And I thought, wow, this sounds really interesting. I really want to get into this. They used a program called Octamed. I think I had Octamed 4 back then. So I went out to have a look in town for a computer, and sure enough I came across one, an Amiga 600, and it was reduced quite heavily actually, down to $169.99. I can't remember which pack I had now. I think it might have been the Wild and Wicked pack. I think the original price was about $299.99. So, but still, even then, $169.99 was a lot of money. But I bit the bullet and bought one. And now I've decided to buy one again. So I had a look on eBay to see what I could find. I bidded on one, not thinking I would win it. And obviously I did win it. It was sold though as untested. They'd gone as far as plugging the power supply into it. That was it basically. It came from a Wii recycling centre. Here in the UK, that's where you send your old electronics to be recycled. And strangely enough, they bundled together 2 Commodore data cassette recorders with it. I guess because it said Commodore on it, they probably thought that they went with it. It's only got the power supply, no other cables or mouse. I guess I bought this because I just wanted to take a trip down memory lane and experience that nostalgia again. Hopefully, I won't be disappointed. But I guess we'll find out when I open it up. So, let's get to it. They packed it well. First data cassette recorder for parts only. Oh dear, I've cut the cable off. What a shame. It's nice to see things wrapped properly for a change. Well, that is very light. I guess it's one of the more recent ones. Look how dirty it is. Actually, it's for the A600, it says it on there. But at least I left the cable on this one. It's certainly foggy. Right then. Let's see what we've got in here. Oh, we know what we've got in here. Actually quite quite excited about this. So I haven't seen one of these since, I think it was 1995 I sold mine, when I had to move. I needed to get some funds together, and as you do, you sell things you don't use anymore, if you're unlucky. I really regret it now, obviously, because I bought mine brand new back in the day. Wonder where it is now. Hopefully somebody's still using it somewhere. This even could be it, couldn't it? Imagine that. I wonder if it's got any memory in it, any extra memory. My goodness, can't believe it. It's actually still sealed. It's not been opened. Model A600, made in Hong Kong. You know, it's a bit dirty, but it's dirty, but it's not yellowed. It's really grubby. Wow, there we go, I've got one again. Can't believe it. Just hope it works. It's so strange seeing one again after so long. Okay, I think the next thing to do is we'll test the power supply, make sure it's outputting the correct voltages, and then we'll plug it in and see what we've got. Right, before I plug it in, I'm just going to check the fuse in the plug, just to make sure it's the correct one. In an appliance like this, it should only be a 3 amp fuse, and it looks like it is. Yes, it is. The earth wire was loose. Just double check the fuse continuity before I turn it on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, before I plug it in, I just want to check the voltages, make sure it's not too high output. Of course, we don't want to damage the computer. It's a bit fiddly, this. You want to be shorting it out. So nearly plus 12 there. Should be minus 12 there really, but it might be because there's no load on it. And then plus 5. So I think that'll be okay. Okay then. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. Wow, it's working. I can't believe it. Picture looks a little bit pinky, but I think if I remember rightly, in the disk drive then the writing. Was it like that before? I can't remember, it's been so long. Oh, that's amazing. I guess we'd better try disk. Disk drive's not working. Strange because I can hear it doing the little juddering sound. Ah, there we go. I guess it's just not been used for so long. Wow. Thumbs up. I've been really lucky this time. I can't believe it, and it's not even been opened either. Ha. Well, there you go. I was very lucky this time and that it actually worked. I still can't believe it actually, to be honest. I was very, very lucky on this occasion. The next thing to think about is cleaning it, because as you've seen from the close-ups, it's very, very dirty. It looks like it's been stored in, well, I don't know where, but a lot of the dirt that's on it, it looks like from use. I guess there's some people out there that just don't notice things getting dirty and just carry on using them. I mentioned before about the warranty seal underneath not being broken. Upon closer inspection, it looks like it has actually been broken, but I don't think it's been broken with the screwdriver being poked through to open it up. I think it's just basically been pressed and it's become a little bit brittle and it's just gone in slightly on itself. I didn't really want to open this up to clean it, but I think to do a proper job I'm going to have to. And of course then there's always the other thing as well, isn't there? The recapping. As you all know, the Amiga 600 and other computers and devices from around that time period suffered with the bad capacitors that were out and about around that time, and they do eventually leak, unfortunately. So that's something else I'm going to have to think about doing in the future, but I'll save that for another video. For now, I just want to get this thing cleaned up and back to some kind of its former glory in its white days, when it was a bit whiter than the colour it is now. And the transformer, well, that is just filthy. I just don't understand how it can get that bad. I guess it lived on the floor. Strange enough, the underneath's a lot cleaner than the top of it. But no, it's just really, really dirty. So we'll get it opened up now, then have a quick look inside, then we'll start the cleaning process. Let's pop the trapdoor open and see what the memory module is inside. I noticed that it registered an extra megabyte when Workbench loaded, so it's got 2 meg at least. Oh, there we go. Here's a grime on there. Well, I can't wait to give this a good clean. As I said before, there's no yellowing on the case that I can tell, just by looking at it. It's just really, really dirty. It makes you wonder if people actually use it like this, or if it just got this dirty being in storage somewhere. It's just absolutely filthy. So next thing to do will be to give it a thoroughly good clean. Guess we'll open her up then and see what's inside. Okay, let's open this up. Time to push that seal all the way through. Ooh, that is pretty gross. I'm glad I did open it up now. It looks like it's been in a smoker's house. It's very yellow in there. It was best to pop that ribbon cable off. Really don't like those ribbon cables. Wow. That is dirty. So it looks like the keyboard just snaps out. Okay, we'll get those keys off now. So much fluff in there. Ugh. Just look at how dirty that is underneath. That is so dirty. One of the things I've just noticed looking at the board, which you probably all noticed straight away, was the RF shield's missing. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but I'm just looking at the tabs. That one there doesn't look like it's ever been bent. That one there has been. So's that one. And the two at the back, again, they don't look like they've been bent. That's a bit odd. It doesn't look like there's been any modifications done to the computer. Oh, they look like it was sealed. Didn't look like the seal had been broken. But I guess somebody either has been in it already, or the shielding didn't get put on at the factory. So that's a bit strange, really. Oh, something else I've just noticed. That there. A rubber foot, should that be there? I've never really looked at an A600 before, because when I had mine, as I said before, it was new and I never opened it up. I never had any reason to. Just a bit odd, really. I just thought I'd point that out. As you can see, the condition of it's pretty grotty inside. It's almost like a greasy film all over it, and the dust and fluff is attached to it. It's like it's been in a cooking environment. Can't wait to get in a hard drive fitted to it, actually, or a compact flash card. That's something I've never had with my A600. We could have it was only a dream back then to have something like that. Okay, I'm going to take the floppy drive out now to get underneath of it to better clean it. I just noticed that the hard drive caddy just pops out. Don't know why, but I thought there would have been screws to it. The heat stains there from the chips. I already took one screw out before. Well, upon closer inspection, I think I can see a tiny little bit of corrosion in places. Those two little, they're diodes, I think they're diodes. They've got a little bit of green on them there. But I'm not sure if it's from the capacitor, because that looks clean. From the possibly leaking, but it looks clean. Or it's just general corrosion because of the bad conditions it's been stored in. Well, I assume it's bad conditions it's been stored in. Some of them just look a little bit greyed to me, a little bit dull, whereas the rest are shiny. This is not something I would be able to replace myself. I'm not quite there yet with surface mount, so it won't be anything I'm doing anytime soon. I don't quite have the confidence yet, so I won't want to ruin it. But it's not like really bad. But of course you don't really know until you pull them off or remove them. It just look, like I said, the pads just look a little bit tarnished to me. And the board is a bit greasy in this area. But I don't know if that's just because of the, like I said, the conditions it's been in. And those two there. Without moving that off, how are you going to get to those pads? They're right up close to this. So that will be a project for another time when I've got a bit more experience with surface mount. I'm okay with through the hole capacitors because I recapped my Commodore Amiga 1084 monitor and changed the flyback transformer. I did all that okay, but this is a whole nother level for me. So I think I'm going to get this out of its back case now and then get the front and back case cleaned up. Something else I noticed as well on the look at the state of that. It's just unbelievable. What was actually I was going to say was the date, got a date code on there. So it's a 1992 one. So it's always nice to see the dates on these things. Right, let's get it out the back of its case now and give it a go clean. Let's get that memory module removed. Bit of corrosion there on the left, and give that back and front case a jolly good clean. Right, let's get cleaning. Just some warm soapy water to begin with. See how we get on with that. Strange how it's yellow on the inside than it is on the outside. It's not the case fading yellow either, it's the yellow of like when components get warm or nicotine. Well, that's not come up quite as clean as I'd hoped. So I'm going to try a bit of cream cleaner on it. Wow, look at that. Made a clean patch. Don't know if you can see that on camera. I can certainly see a difference. It's just kitchen or bathroom cream cleaner, so a little bit abrasive. I've always been okay with it. I'm not recommending you use it, but it's always worked for me. You can see the difference clearly between that area there and there. Amazing. Whoa, how clean that foot just came up. It's amazing. Rinse, repeat. Those labels are plastic, so they won't come off. Rinse it off under a cold tap. Okay, it's all cleaned out now. I'll clean the floppy drive out with an old paintbrush to get all the fluffy dust out of that. Everything's had a good clean the board down, the paintbrush. Now it's time to reassemble. Voila, all nice and clean. Doesn't that look better? Well, let's plug it back in and see if it still works. Okay, fingers crossed for the second time. Let's hope it works. Yes, try the disc. That's loaded. One thing I didn't do before was try the keyboard. That seems to be okay. Right then, next thing to do is clean that grotty power supply. I decided to open up the power supply, so I thought I'd give it a good clean in the bath instead because it's that bad, and I'm glad I did, because inside the actual case it's just as bad as the computer was. It's really dusty and there's lots of fluff in there, and it's got that greasy residue over everything again. It really does make you wonder what kind of a life this computer had and where it was stored or used. So I'll take all this out, give it a good clean out, clean the case and pop it back together. There we go, that's a lot cleaner inside now. Took the whole board out, hoovered it out, wiped it down. So none of that fluff in there anymore, which is a bit of a fire hazard really. Well, as you can see, the power supply came up quite clean and I'm really quite pleased with it. Just a little bit of yellowing in places, which is what happens with this older plastics. That side, it must have been facing the sun. I've also been cleaning the cable. Just went over that cable there with a wet wipe and then some cream cleaner, and look at the difference. You can certainly tell. So I'm going to carry on now and do the other side, and then that'll be it for that. Let's take a closer look and see just how clean they've come up. As you can see, the Amiga itself is pretty much white again. All the keys are nice and white, no yellow on those at all. Even the power supply looks a lot better than it was. Well, there you go then. I was extremely lucky on this occasion in that it worked. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. The case is really nice and white, and so are all the keys. Just a little bit of yellowing across the back seam there. Power supply as well came up pretty clean. Just a little bit of yellowing on the seams on that too. I've still got to obviously think about the capacitor change in the near future. I've done some research and come across two other YouTube channels, RMC, Retro Man Cave, and Jan Beta. Both two very interesting channels actually, worth taking a look. They've both covered the capacitor change on the Amiga 600 and shown in great detail and what to do and what not to do. And it didn't occur to me about removing the ribbon connector on the back there near those two surface mount capacitors, because I thought to myself, how are you supposed to get to those? I never really thought about taking off the connector, so that's really good advice there. So I think with that in mind and seeing what they've done, it's taken a bit of the mystery out of it for me. And it's probably given me a little bit of confidence as well. So that's something I will tackle in the future sometime. I'll probably do a video on it. So I think that's about it really for today's show. I suppose we ought to finish off with Project X, one of my personal favourites. So if you did like this show, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll be seeing you.
necessary weight for power.